Madam Assistant Speaker, it's a pleasure to rise today to speak of the importance of men's sheds in enhancing community wellbeing and social inclusion in the ACT. When I was a child growing up, sheds in the backyard were very much the male domain. Your dad would go out to the shed often after dinner to what was then termed escape from the kids in the house, and probably more likely to escape from the washing up, and undertake these men's activities which were a bit mysterious to me at the time. They often involved woodwork and metalwork and things like that. Sometimes my dad's friends would come around and they would work out in the shed together. They may be fixing a motor, doing up an old car, getting a boat engine to run, all sorts of different things. So men's sheds are, Madam Assistant Speaker, very much part of the Australian culture. The men's shed movement is, if you like, an updated version of that traditional men's shed in the backyard environment. What we've found over the past 20 or more years, Madam Assistant Speaker, is that men weren't very good at asking for help. They weren't very good at acknowledging when they had health issues, including mental health issues. They weren't very good at identifying when they didn't have friends, when they felt lonely, when they had problems and they didn't feel able to share. Sometimes it was instilled in them from a young age that men should be the strong part of a relationship, and they had to put on that brave front, the stiff upper lip. Hopefully, things have been changing more recently, with very much a focus on the need to seek help, that it's okay to seek help, it's okay to talk about your issues with someone else. On Sunday, for example, we had World Suicide Prevention Day, and on Thursday of this week is Are You OK Day. And these movements, these national and international days, highlight the need for people to speak up when they need help. So it's timely to talk about a movement such as the Men's Shed today. Research has shown that relationship breakdowns, bereavement, loss of access to children following a divorce or other relationship breakdown, physical or mental illness are just some of the problems that men might find difficult to deal with on their own. Studies have linked social isolation and loneliness to physical health symptoms, including high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke and depression. And the ABS 2015 data shows that Australian men aged over 85 have the highest suicide rate in Australia at 39.3 per 100,000 people. In comparison, women in that age group had a suicide rate of 5.7 per 100,000. That's 39.3 compared to 5.7 in 100,000. Alarming statistics. For men, the next highest age-specific suicide rate was in the 45 to 49, the 40 to 44 and the 50 to 54 year age groups in the rates of 31.5, 30.6 and 30.5 per 100,000 respectively. Again, alarming and disturbing statistics. Organisations who work in this space, such as SANE Australia, the Australian General Practice Network, Beyond Blue, Men's Link, and of course the Australian Men's Shed Association, all state that men still do not naturally talk about their physical, social or mental health. One research study that I looked at determined that men should physically meet with 4 friends 2 times a week in order to reap the benefits of male friendship. I'm sure we all know people who don't have that level of engagement with male friends, twice a week meeting with 4 friends. Benefits of strong male friendships include a stronger immune system, the release of endorphins, an overall decrease in anxiety levels, and apparently even higher levels of generosity. This research goes so far as to recommend that guys do stuff while they socialise. And that's exactly what the Men's Shed movement is about. In the words of Professor Barry Golding, a Men's Shed researcher from the Federation University, Ballarat, I quote, "Men don't talk face to face, they talk shoulder to shoulder." And the Men's Shed movement builds on that approach. While you're standing shoulder to shoulder at a lathe or building toys for children or to sell at a fete, men raise issues, often slowly and haltingly at first, but they're not looking eye to eye, they're sharing a physical activity, and this facilitates a more natural exchange of information between them, and it's not confronting to those men as looking someone in the face and confessing your deepest, darkest, innermost secrets, which is, difficult for many of us to do at any time. Okay, maybe not for some people, maybe not for everyone, but, if you've been brought up in that way that you have to have this strong appearance and always appear to be in control and to be, the person that's the solutions person in a relationship, it can be difficult to admit that you're struggling. So the Men's Shed movement began organically, in Australia about 20 or so years ago, and has evolved into an organisation known as the Australian Men's Shed Association. There are a number of other sheds that are not members officially of the AMSA, Australian Men's Shed Association. Some of them that I'm aware of include at Goodwin Village, at Monash. They have a men's shed there, even though it's not officially affiliated with AMSA, and there are many other retirement communities that have a men's shed type approach as well. But the objective of the Men's Shed movement is to advance the well-being and health of their male members, to provide that space where men can talk shoulder to shoulder. And of course, there are so many other spin-off benefits. Some of these men's sheds create fabulous toys and other projects that they give to charities or that they sell at fetes, and then they donate the money to other organisations. There are many, many ways in which the work of the men's sheds benefits our broader community, not only, whilst it's enormously important, but not only the men who go to that men's shed. A men's shed is intended to be accessible to all men regardless of their background or ability, and in fact I've heard of some men's sheds just recently who are engaging in relationships and partnerships with Alzheimer's ACT and having people with Alzheimer's come along and share making things and painting things with members of the men's shed. Again, another huge benefit to our community as a whole. The men's shed provides a safe and friendly environment for men to work on meaningful projects at their own pace, often learn new skills, and have the ability to teach and mentor other people in those skills. Every shed is a bit different. They work differently. Some sheds are open every day of the week. Some sheds are only open a couple of days of the week. But they make, for example, furniture for schools. In some cases, they've made equipment for training of ambulance services, stretchers and things. They've mentored school children. And it really helps to reduce isolation in our community. Often men's sheds, individual men's sheds, as well as the organisation AMSA, apply for grants to facilitate their work. It's lovely to see here in this place that the men's shed have the support of everyone. It's a tripartisan thing that we all can recognise and appreciate the benefits of men's sheds, and that we can see that health benefits can, if you like, be delivered by stealth, not necessarily directly. There are, I believe, around 1,000 men's sheds in Australia and about 12 around the Canberra area. Another one of a slightly different model I've visited recently is the South Canberra Veterans Shed, who of course are looking for a permanent home. But for when men who can find themselves isolated, a men's shed can get them involved in their community, give them meaningful activity and get them some informal advice which will help make their life and our community better.
Thank you, Ms Lauder. Minister Ramsey.